the mics are on. Lights. Yo, we're doing the podcast.
Wait. Oh, wait. Hold on.
Damn, this guy.
Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, in the flesh.
Welcome to Breaking Bread. We are here with the lovely, talented actor, singer, songwriter, Josephine
Phoenix! Josephine
Let it out,
Phoenix!
let it out.
Hi, caballeros y
Welcome in like
caballeras.
that.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the party.
Yes.
So listen,
Yes.
Josephine Phoenix.
That's me, guys. How you doing?
That sounds like a star.
Sounds
right?
like a star or a high-end escort agency. You pick one. Who knows? Well, let's be honest. If I was actually a star or escort agents, I would be somewhere else working right now. But that's okay.
We still give you an interview.
Yeah, you're right, Miguel.
You're right. We do for all walks of life.
Breaking Bread is here for all of us.
So listen, is Josephine Phoenix your real name?
Josephine Phoenix is not my real name. Josephine Phoenix was born in 2016 when I entered the reality show world. And I wanted a name that can sound like a singer, an actress, that can sound like, where is she from culturally?
Well, let me tell you,
I don't know. Because I'm Cuban, I'm Spaniard, I'm Lebanese. Y siempre digo que soy cubana de movimiento, pero no de tamaño. Pero that's okay.
But like you got the shake and you got the bake.
Yeah. Oh, I got the shake and the bake. Well, I don't think you know what the bake is yet, but yeah, I got the shake, Stay tuned.
So tell me, your parents are Cuban, Lebanese?
Yes, my dad's side is Lebanese Spaniard, and he was born in Cuba. And then my mom was requete contra cubana.
How'd that even happen?
What, to be requete contra cubana?
No.
You're
How the
born...
fuck did that combo even happen? I can tell you how the Cuban happened.
How did my mom and dad happen?
Yeah.
My mom was a Las Vegas showgirl, singer, dancer who dated Julio Iglesias and picked my dad. Wrong. And then my dad.
Listen, we all make mistakes.
Yes.
Right? We got to figure out this one.
And then my dad was a flamenco guitarist. And they both met while touring and at this venue in New York City called Chateau Madrid. And ta-da! Here I am.
Josephine.
Only child, can
Phoenix.
you tell? Obsessed with people, obsessed with talking. Someone love me.
Well, they didn't love me in my house. I was a black sheep. I still am, I think. The golden child is at home somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for sure. My parents like, oh, we had him. All right, cool.
Okay.
But we can celebrate the big one, so that's
enough.
cool. Yeah, more than enough. So I'm assuming that because of the way your parents were and the way you were raised is how you got into this world of acting, music.
Yeah, bro. I had no choice, caballero. I had no choice. So growing up with a dysfunctional family, which my dad always says in the word dysfunctional is the word fun.
True.
We're very fun. I went to like 5 high schools, half in Miami, half in Brooklyn, New York. And I had no choice when I wanted to go to college and go to Yale for maybe journalism or acting. They were like, aquí no hay billete para eso. There's no money for college. What do you think? So then...
A
trabajar. If you wanted to be a singer, there's singing jobs out there. So at 19, I got on a cruise ship in Africa in the middle of the Mediterranean. As a virgin, I never drank anything. I've never done anything. And I started singing.
I'm sure that changed the course over there, no?
No. So that all happened in Cuba, honestly. Yeah.
Bringing it back home to the roots.
Yeah. We'll get to that guy later. But yeah, I kind of had no choice. And we always say in the industry that the arts picks you, right? This life picked me. I didn't pick it. And I couldn't run away from it. And honestly, like even with all the trials and tribulations, the amount of joy that I have being around my quote unquote, my people, the community, the amount of joy I have making people laugh or making people feel is unequivocal to the lows that I might experience by trying to establish myself as an artist. So I love it. I want it. I eat it. I drink it. I pump it in my veins, and it's here.
I see it. We have it all front and center for us, which is gorgeous.
Thanks.
Now, going into that world, right? So careers is a big thing, right? Especially acting, singing, songwriting, a world that's so shady and weird. Tell me how that works in that world. How is it to performances. What does it take? You know, the practicing and walking around the house. You're all of a sudden a waiter and you're acting like the waitress, or you're the mistress and you're acting like the mistress, because that has to be kind of like crazy, right? So you got to kind of get into role.
Yeah, I think everyone that is an artist is a little bit crazy already.
Yeah.
You have to. El loco ese está ahí, el loco, nada más tiene que despertar el loco. You know what? It's like, we have this saying where I went to the Stella Adler Conservatory in New York City, and they have this sort of statement where it's growth as an actor is synonymous to growth as a human. So yeah, we can be the waiter, we could be these small roles, but then there's all the other roles that kind of challenge your beliefs and like challenge what the human experience is. And it's hysterical. So when you're playing whatever character you're auditioning for or actually working on, you really see life differently through the lens of that perspective and that.
Absolutely.
But half the time you're really like, you're drawing mustaches on your face and just playing around in the mirror and be like,
but when you go to the supermarket, do you play your role that way?
When I go to the supermarket,
like, do you fuck with people like, you know what, I'm in my role, let me.
In the supermarket, I think the only thing I try to do is make people uncomfortable sometimes, which is I literally grab the banana and pretend to talk on the phone while I'm shopping with the banana.
No.
And the people look at me like she is having a serious conversation.
Well, if you're from Miami, that's normal.
Yeah, I guess
as you
it is.
can see.
I'm sorry, I thought my teléfono was la banana grande esta. Excuse me.
But it's interesting because I've always, like, you know, you see some of these guys, like, you know, obviously these main actors, these Tom Cruises or whatever, you know, George Clooney's, and you have to wonder, like, because the roles are so crazy, right? So I know you did like Up on My Feet, right? For
on my feet.
On my feet. Sorry, not
on
my
your
feet.
feet.
On your feet.
I did the music. For those of you that are following us, he's trying to do his homework, and I applaud you for trying.
Well, thank you.
But you know, it's late, and he has an actual job. His brain is fried. I did the musical On Your Feet, the story of Gloria Estefan.
And you played her role as the mom.
I actually played Gloria Estefan's mom. It was mind-blowing in every aspect. I don't know how they thought este cuerpecito y esta mujer can look like a mom on stage. But it was an amazing, amazing journey, Miguel, because I was in the callbacks to be actual Gloria Estefan on Broadway in New York City, and I flew to New York, and I've met with the directors and the associate producers, and it just wasn't the right fit. It wasn't the right fit. And a couple of years later, when they were doing a small regional tour during the pandemic, I actually applied to be the Gloria Estefan understudy, which means that when the actress is playing Gloria is sick, I get to do it. Gotcha. And they said, you know, actually, let's have you read for Gloria Fajardo, which is Gloria's mom. And ahí me puse, and I learned so much about redemption, because mom and daughter relationships can be a little textured. Yeah. I learned so much about the immigrant experience through the lens of someone else that left everything, that was quite successful and had to start all over again. And it was just mind-blowing to actually have this role that was never in my periphery. It was never like a thought, like, oh, I want to play Gloria's mom. Yeah. And it just made me more connected to my grandmother. It made me more connected to my country, my countries, right? It made me more connected to this first generation plight that first generation people have, where we're not born in Cuba, but we're not really American in terms of the way we live. Correct. It was a blessing.
Being that first generation, it's really weird. And I know as we grow up, a lot of times we say, oh, we're Cuban American. And I've personally never been, right? So I've never been to the island, so I've never really had the experience. But you still feel the pride, and you still feel like, okay, you know what? I'm Cuban. I want to continue the culture. But then you talk to our kids, and they're younger, and they're like, no, I'm kind of American. Like I really don't really know. So being the first generation, I agree with what you're saying. To take that role, to take that passion, and that like back to your country is really, really cool. And let me ask you, I've always thought it was really, really tough. Like you said, you didn't get the role of Gloria Estefan, but what keeps the drive? What keeps the going to say, okay, you know what? I may not be her, but I could do something else, or I could continue.
What keeps me going is I have to buy shampoo, Miguel. I have to buy shampoo and lipstick, and I gotta keep this thing feeling good. You know, I don't know how to do anything else but entertain and be a storyteller, honestly. Awesome. Like, if I was supposed to be a secretary or an accountant, I'd be good at math. If I was supposed to be, like, I don't know, a maid, then I'd actually know how to clean. No soy la más limpia, caballero. But listen, I'll make you laugh, okay? I'm not dirty, but I make you laugh. You know, what keeps me going is relentless belief. No plan B to an extent. And depending on the way you look at my life or you look at me, that could seem stupid or just like a dreamer in a sense. And that could also be like just so grounded in what my purpose is in life, which is artistic pursuits. It really is the community. And even though I'm in a season right now, Miguel, for all of you watching and listening, this is my own commercial. I haven't actually been booked for a theater gig in over 15 months.
Wow.
And I have been auditioning nonstop. And I've taken small breaks, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm like, you know what? I'm tired. And I cried. I'm like, God, I don't know why. Why am I here? And I think I'm better than ever right now than when I was before. Because you get older, you kind of shine that diamond, you know?
Absolutely.
And to find myself stuck, quote unquote, you know, like I'm called the callback queen. So if you audition for a role, they say, we really like what you did. Here is the actual character we want you to read for, and let's have an audition. And I always get this email like, we've gone a different direction, but thank you so much for your good work.
Why do you think that would be?
I-95, they took Turnpike instead of getting off on Coral Way, caballero.
Well, in today's Miami, yeah, that's very possible. There's expressways everywhere. Nobody even knows where they go anymore.
Exactly. So you just sigh,
I can know where you're coming from.
You surrender, and you're like, all right, what cast and what project is meant for me is going to show up. My job is to show up. Like my job is to keep auditioning,
100%.
keep believing,
100%.
you know, and see. In the meantime, I clean houses, I do brand ambassador jobs, I do Uber Eats.
A little bit of
everything. In the
everything.
meantime, I come to Miguel's podcast, Breaking Bread, and I entertain. In the meantime, I do a lot of like odd end jobs just to buy shampoo, and I'm proud of it. I'm versatile.
Absolutely.
I got this.
I think you do amazing, honestly.
Thank you.
If I was one of those directors, which obviously I'm not, that's why I'm here, I'd hire you, but all I can say is keep
Hire me! Look
keep
what I
doing
can do
you.
with my legs. Caballero, look, audition time. Hire me! I can do it all!
Is that the dance that got you on the reality TV show?
Oh my God, the reality TV show. Ay, ay, ay.
Tell me.
My Life is a telenovela.
Yeah,
It was
I
on
heard.
WeTV.
Okay.
It aired in the year 2016.
Wow.
With a lot of big high-end Latino names. So Cici Fleitas, who was a model on Sábado Gigante. Adriana Cataño, who is also known for her makeup line right now and all of her hosting jobs. We have Raquel, who was Maria Boquitas, who was part of that whole situation, Gloria Trevi. We have La Hija del Puma, Liliana. We had just a big group of great women. And then we had me.
Yay.
Tiki. I was like the only one that wasn't known. I was just like that theater New York girl, while these women were all telenovela women. And that was interesting, Miguel. I don't know if I'd ever do a reality show again.
Why?
Bueno, what had happened was... Hold on, I need a cigarette for this. Ready?
It's maybe a while.
Okay. This is me. I'm actually smoking a cigarette with a breadstick as we speak. So the showrunners and the producers were all American.
Okay.
We're all actually American white men, right? And they were driving this sort of suggested reality show on the telenovela world in Miami. And they looked at me after about a couple of episodes that we were videotaping. And, you know, I mentioned all these big names, and they are like super Latina women. You know, they are voluptuous. They were what I call carne con papa.
Let me interrupt you real quick. What the fuck is a white guy doing running a Latin show?
This is the situation that's happening in Hollywood in a sense, where these are the men that have the voice, the power, and the money and the positions.
Touch reality though.
That's how, but they don't know the Miami culture, right?
Wild.
So then, to my point, at some point during the process, the showrunner looked at me and said, "Come on, Josephine, we want to start having a meeting with you and see what sort of surgery you want to get to have like this sort of transformation from the beginning of the series to the end of the series."
Way.
And I was like, transformation? Why don't you transform my bank account? You know, that's the transformation I want. You know, thousands of dollars, 6 figures, okay, 7. Like that's
make it big,
right? I'm just saying, you know, we all like those things big. And they actually said, no, we're thinking of getting you a breast augmentation surgery on us. And I said, can I get a rain check? Like when like I have a child and they suck the life out of me, then can I get it? Because I like my little mango Filipinos, you know? Like they work well for me. They're ripe in the season.
But what was the purpose of that?
He said to me, haven't you ever looked in the mirror and wished you looked more Latina? And I looked at him and I said, I look Latina enough for me.
I was gonna say, what the fuck does Latina look like?
Yes. And then they started like asking other questions like, Oriel, if you don't want to have breasts, what about your lips? What about your eyelashes? What about a BBL, like your butt? And I was like, if I want a bigger butt, I do more squats.
Yeah.
You know, I always say that I am Cuban in movement, not in size.
Oh,
De movimiento, no tamaño. I am petite and I love it. I love what I am. I love my torpedo titties. I love my little chiquita manzanita. I'm okay with it, you know, and that's kind of sad for me. And I don't listen. If you got like your breast augmentation and you got your BBL, good for you. You feel good. Listen, I'm all about women feeling good and doing what they gotta do to feel like mujer poderosa. But that doesn't mean that just because I don't have that, I am less Latina.
True.
And that's where I was like, oh my God. And then I got fired. And then I got brought back because the majority of these women didn't speak English fluently. So the accent was too hard. And they needed comedic relief, you know?
But they did a telenovela in English? I'm confused.
No. So it's a reality show about women in the telenovela industry, all in English on WeTV. Yeah.
So that must have been a shit show.
You can look it up. It's hilarious. One season.
And listen, talk about reality TV. I've always thought like, because obviously everybody's watching like all the housewives and all that weird shit, right? So, but there's so much drama all the time, and I have to think that some of the stuff is created, right? It cannot be like reality TV is not really real.
Some of it is created, and some of it just because of the situation is not. One of the biggest moments in the reality show, which is the last episode, which I will just preface real quick. We all have mic packs, for example. We have a big pack in the back where it puts your microphone right here, right? And we have our purses, we have a regular, and then we know what's gonna happen. Like, okay, you're getting into this room in this house and you're gonna say this and you're gonna react however you react. Okay, good. But the things were getting so tense in this last episode that one of the characters pushed the other character into the pool with high heels, mic pack, cell phone.
But that wasn't planned.
Purse. That was not planned because you're so
the frustration already built.
Of so many things were happening, and there was all these secrets, and you didn't know what was going on. And
wild.
But it's on purpose because you create this atmosphere that's so tense that that exploded, and you should see everybody on set. Silence, like, oh my God, the girl's in the pool with everything. She did it on purpose.
That's wild. And does everybody go have drinks and shit after the show, or everybody kind of becomes like enemies because you really don't have a choice?
Yeah,
like,
in the beginning you do, right? In the beginning it's all exciting and there's nothing dramatic on the first episode, right? Like everyone's like, oh, we'll tell each other when there's bad stuff about to happen.
Bullshit.
They don't tell nothing, nada. But I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad I'll probably never do it again.
That was funny.
But it was a gift, honestly, because like even though it wasn't anything that I was superbly proud about, it gave me an income for 3 months. That's what most people make in a year.
Absolutely.
And I never felt like I was working. You know, I was creating a character. I was being funny. I was watching myself in these beautiful women, like how they navigate their life.
And do you ever take? I was gonna say, do you ever take tips from these girls? Do you talk to them?
Yeah. I have. Adriana Catania, for example, was always someone that was always there for me in terms of like how to handle these people. For example, there was one day where I was wearing a dress and they had a makeover day, and they had to give me chicken cutlets to make my mango Filipinos, my boobs bigger. And I did it for one take, and then I took it out. And then I'm walking around, and the director, when we're like pausing in between takes, comes up to me, and he knows I have these fake chicken cutlets on, or I did. And he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, they look great." And I said, "What does?" He's like, "The chicken cutlets." But what he doesn't know is that I took them off before the second scene. So I took them off and I'm like, "Sir, these are actually my real ones. There is no chicken cutlets here at this moment." And then another producer who was a female had to drag me into the room, had to put them on me. She goes, "You're going to get me fired. You're supposed to keep this on the whole time." And I thought the irony, like, dude, you just complimented me that they look great and they're mine. And it's just like,
but you hurt somebody's ego, unfortunately.
Yeah, egos.
Yeah, it's.
Listen, if their package is as big as their ego, then I won't complain. But usually the package is never as big as their ego.
It's the bank account, and that's the problem.
The bank account. Yes.
But you said it. Listen, you said it from the beginning. White guys trying to do a telenovela in Miami, like.
Well, it's just also what the industry and what the novelas have shown to the American public what a Latina should be or should look like, and they're just following the footsteps of what we've put out there.
But I always thought it was loud because my house is always fucking loud.
It's
like
loud.
It's like you know, it's not always loud. It's not only the curves, it's also the I don't want to say annoyance because it's not annoying to the Latin world, but it's huge. Like, right? They wave, they talk loud, all that stuff.
It's beautiful.
So you would figure that. No, listen, I love the culture. It's an amazing culture. I'm just in shock that somebody would try to change it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's kind of where I'm.
Who's changing it? No, they were just
They
trying.
tried.
They're trying to not change it because they kept it loud. They kept it crazy. They were just trying to, I guess, really stamp what a Latina should look like and try to make me look like that. Because to them, I do not look Latina enough.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
don't know what that means. So I
Listen,
can't
really
agree.
good things in the terms of females come in really small packages, and that's fine with me.
That's every guy's excuse when they
Whatever.
when they can't get through.
Whatever.
So I know you're writing a book now, right? No, it's not. It's not a book.
One-woman show.
one-woman show.
I am writing a one-woman
Right?
show. Yes.
Between coconuts
Miguel,
and
doing
concrete.
your homework
You
over
see that?
here.
You
I
see
feel
that?
like
You
I'm an
see that?
NPR. This is so professional.
Listen, you're not the only one. I got
Listen.
I got a story. You
Yeah.
know, I'm trying to get good people at this too.
Nice.
Between coconuts and concrete.
That is the name of my one-woman show.
Tell me about it.
Between coconuts and country. Well, I was raised between Miami and New York, so I have this like tropical rat sort of thing going for me, you know, like a tie-dye rat. And coconuts being Miami and concrete being New York City. And also between coconuts and concrete, when you're standing between two hard things, that is life, you know, how do you keep moving? So it's basically the story of my parents, the story of the cocaine cowboy era in Miami, the story of me being nicknamed Snowflake in my high school because I was the only person my color in the hood, and how I just came to be this amazing human being you see in front of you right now. So it's a lot of the trauma because, listen, all comedy and all big people, we all have something that happened to us as we get older, as we were a child. And so it's my way of like a catharsis of like unpacking all these stories that are kind of sad, pero sprinkling some humor on it, you know?
Well, but that's part of growing, right? And I think that's part of life and what we kind of go through. And I think that a lot of those experiences make us who we are.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think that's awesome because a lot of times we look back and it's funny because we all tell stories to each other. We're like, oh, because my parents and when we grew up and you know, so stuff. And we say, I'll never be like that.
Right.
But yeah, here we find ourselves that we're very similar, right?
We're a version
so
of
wild.
them. If we don't take the time to like take a second and look at ourselves, we are literally a version of our parents and,
It
their
really is.
flaws too. Charlie Chaplin,
amazing.
I think Charlie Chaplin has this awesome quote where it says, "A tragedy from a distance is a comedy." Something, I'm paraphrasing it, but basically like if a guy falls on his butt and you're right next to him, you're like, "Coño, are you okay?" And you pick him up. But if you're across the street and you see him fall, you're laughing.
Yeah, you're cracking up.
And
Absolutely.
I think the same thing happens in our life where
Absolutely.
things that really hurt. There's this one story that I have to share right now that I'm reminded. It was my grandmother on my father's side, the Lebanese. Her birthday was yesterday, and we were talking about my grandfather's funeral. Okay. And look, it's my grandfather's funeral. You know, he was 98. You know, all the
great life.
Yeah, it was in New York, and the funeral hall was like full of people. And then they asked for the immediate family to come, the Catholic priest, and they do this prayer, like this last prayer before they close the casket. So immediate family's up there, which is my father, myself, my grandmother, my cousin, and my aunt, like just like 5 or 6 of us. And my grandmother usually passes gas like a machine gun. And my dad always said this thing because it sounded like war when she would pass gas. He'd say, "Go ahead, like go get it." So while this priest is doing the final prayer, she quietly farts, and my dad quietly goes, "Go ahead." And she starts laughing so much that she keeps farting. And then the whole audience and the people that are attending the funeral are like, what is happening? And then my dad, the priest is chuckling now. My grandmother's laughing and farting. We're all like losing it at this funeral, the dead body in front of us. And my dad goes, "Coño, mi papá salió de aquí cagao." Like his dad died full of crap. And this is a really sad moment in life. You know what I mean?
That fucking poor priest must have been dying. I wouldn't know. Your grandfather must have been flipping on that fucking saying, "No joda. Y en paz me puedo ir tranquilo. Me han cagado todo." That is funny.
But that
I'm
is
sorry
how,
that I'm laughing though.
No,
I apologize. But that is funny.
But that's tragedy, and how you still get through it, and you can find something in it. You know,
Absolutely.
it's a gift.
It really is. And I mean, listen, living to 98 years old.
Yo,
fuck.
I know. My dad says he has a long contract. I told him he's not allowed to leave before my mom. He can't leave me alone with my mom. No brothers, no sisters, just me and my mom. We're going to die. Like, Dad.
But your parents live down here both in South Florida?
Yeah, they're still together.
Oh, nice. Okay. So fuck. That's been great.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I love being with my parents in the in-betweens.
But they still sing and dance and all that good stuff?
Dude, they're hysterical. Like, my dad keeps playing guitar and my mom sings, and I'll come home like late from being out, and like my mom is drinking and my dad is smoking some weed, and they're doing their bolero thing, and it's just like it's a gorgeous partnership.
That is awesome.
I mean, it's dysfunctional as well.
Well, listen,
there'll be days
every family is functional.
I know they're 75 now. And there'll be days that I'll walk up and there's a suitcase outside. My mom's like, I packed your dad's stuff. He's leaving. I'm like, what?
Okay, bye.
Just the funny thing about my parents is that, they're hysterical, they're crazy, but even in their old age, they're still doing their arts and their thing. So my dad could be like smoking and playing guitar. And my mom is actually a golden oldie Miami Heat dancer.
That's
For those
wild.
of you who don't know, the Miami Heat has a senior citizens dance troupe. And so she dances and like does whatever she has to do. Like I'm over here trying to be famous, and she's performing at the arena in Miami
And
for
she's never
thousands of
convinced your
people.
dad to do this?
No, my dad does not dance. No.
He's like,
but
"Mija,
she'll be
ese es tu problema."
But she'll be like, oye, estaba el negro ese famoso que rapea adelante. What, Mom? Which one? Which one? And then she's like, oh, el otro que es gordo y hace música, que productor,
God,
estaba
that's
ahí.
great.
DJ Khaled. Khaled, ese. Hysterical, but it's funny.
It's so funny.
I know. Life is unfair.
Shit, she's having a ball, not her. If you ask her, she's like, fucking life is
I know,
great.
but I'm just saying, like, I'm over here doing my best, and I haven't made anything in terms of
So I
stability.
told her, Mom, plug me with DJ Khaled. Go ese, go ese, go ese.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
That is so funny. So I would assume that going to your house is a party all the time. Right?
Oh my gosh, I should be like charging admission, for my freaking house. The things on the wall, the way my mother says hi to people. My dad, when he sees any of my girlfriends come in that are also voluptuous, he starts going, play ball! Are they spending the night? I'm like, no, Dad, my girlfriends are not spending the night.
Your dad didn't have enough beating Julio Iglesias?
No, yeah, right. When Julio Iglesias was calling my mom, he was like, no, we're good.
Now I know why your dad walks around like a stud. Of course he's confident in himself. He fucking beat an international rock star.
He did, and now we're living in La Sabuesera de West Miami, and I could have had a mansion and an island and been Enrique Iglesias' sister.
True.
I mean, I look exactly like my mother, so nothing would have changed about
That
me.
is true. But hey, you're being Iglesias,
I be in Iglesia, man.
right?
That's
So
all
that would have followed. The roles would be a little different.
That's all good. Yo soy santa en otras maneras.
Oh my gosh. So listen, tell me now how career is going, things are going for you. I know you kind of mentioned it.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit of where you see it. Where are we going?
So I started off as a singer-songwriter.
Okay.
I started off with playing guitar, and I write music, and I had a band, and I was an American Idol in 2002. I was in the top 50.
Nice.
And I just crawled like Shakira on the floor, and I didn't know anything. And then little by little, I started getting into musical theater. Okay. And I started getting into musical theater in my 30s, like 5 years ago.
Well, listen, never too late.
It's never too late.
Never
I
too
know. And that's
Look
all.
at me.
And
Doing
that's
this shit show.
Look at you. I don't know. No comments. You're doing what you gotta do to feel good about yourself, and we're
True.
here to clap along the way.
Or pretend.
No, I'm kidding. It's great. It's great. It's very Miami. You're doing a great thing, and you have to take a risk to feel what life is about.
Yeah,
That's
well,
it.
I just like talking to people. It's interesting,
Because you don't have friends. Right.
I kind of probably don't like my friends. That's probably the reason. I'm trying to get away from them. Every time they tell me, "Yo, let's go have a beer," I'm like, "No, I got an interview I'm gonna do." Like fuck that. I don't want to do with you
Hilarious.
guys. But I never think it's too late to do anything.
No, it isn't. So I've been doing musical theater, and my last big job was on Your Feet, playing Gloria Estefan's mom, and that was in this. We stopped in June of 2021, and we are now in 2022.
Is that coming back around?
No, that was a 3-month contract, 4-month contract. We did it in Florida and we did it in Pennsylvania. It was amazing. It was great. And I have been auditioning ever since for In the Heights, for On Your Feet tour, for Rent, for a bunch of other different musical projects. And I keep getting that callback queen where you're great, but we're going a different direction.
And you don't run into the same directors and stuff like that across?
No, because there's like theaters in Colorado that does In the Heights, and
Okay.
they'll fly you in and house you to do that contract. But I don't know, man. I'm trying to see if I do more comedy. Like, people are always telling me I should do stand-up comedy. I don't know.
I would definitely
should.
try. I would definitely try. But I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, but that is why I wrote my one-woman show. Since I am not being hired, I'm going to be my own Lin-Manuel Miranda and put myself on stage. And the blessing of not working on stage is that I had the time to write this show with Joe Barros, who's in New York City with New York Theater Barn. And we're going to put this thing on its feet. We're gonna get this on the road in New York next year, and you got to find a reason. If you're not on stage, you got to find how to take advantage of the time.
Absolutely.
And so I wrote a show, and there we are.
That is awesome. And that just, it's only gonna be in New York. You're gonna try to tour.
I'm gonna try to do it in Miami too. You know, between Coconut and Kronger. You know, the Miami public.
You gotta get to know your people.
Wants me. I know they want me. Here we go again. I know that Miami public wants me. I impregnate everybody like
Play ball.
From SNL. Caballero.
Listen, what you need. I'm gonna tell you what you need.
What do I need?
I'm gonna tell you what you need.
What do I need, Miguel?
I'll tell you what you need.
Don't be telling me what I need. You don't know what I need. What do I need?
You need a Kim Kardashian.
I need a Kim Kardashian.
Yes, you do.
What do you mean a Kim
you need
Kardashian?
a sex tape out there. You need to just boom, let it out.
I kind of, sort of.
What?
I kind of. Are you really asking me this?
What?
Do I have to talk about this?
You don't fucking have a sex tape.
No, I mean, like, not a professional one. Like,
Well, hers
no.
wasn't professional either.
I mean, she looked like she got hair and makeup done. I'm just saying.
Well, have you seen that guy's thing?
I haven't. I don't see any of that stuff. Yo soy inocente. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You really
Yeah,
haven't?
like there's a story of a guy I was dating, and we were flirting and stuff, and I told him that I was an actress. And I guess at some point he's like, well, you know, he didn't know at what capacity. I've done some film. I've done like 2 films. I've done a lot of television. I do a live television comedy sketches stuff. And he decided to type my name and write the word nude after it. And then he called me and he's like, I know you're crazy, but I think that there's something out there and it kind of looks like you. And
What the fuck does that mean?
And your name's on it. And I think you're crazy, but I don't think you're this crazy where you would want this out there. And it just so happens that I had a very long-term relationship, 6 years. And, you know, it was beautiful and wonderful. And there was something that we did with a 2014 pixelated phone. Oh, and it was literally 15 seconds or less. It was like maybe 12 seconds. It was very, very small and very, very pixelated.
Yeah, well.
And I took it down and it was out there. And it was, and then the comedy with that is that the guy that I was talking to was like, listen, here's the good news and the bad news.
But wait, this is a guy you're dating who's telling you this?
I was dating. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about after they found out.
After he found out, he's the one that found it, and he called me.
Way.
And then he's like, here's the good news and the bad news. The bad news is that you have this 12-second thing out there that has your name on it.
It's not that bad.
And the good thing is that how I found it is that you're on someone's celebrity porn list. So you've made it. I was like, tell my bank account I've made it. And it sounded like it was very, very like new. Cause he's like, it's like less than 100 views. Like and then I'm freaking out, right? But it's 2014. So everything's dark. Everything's pixelated. I must have looked amazing. I know I did. It was very embarrassing to think that your name is attached to an image of you, you know? He's like, you could barely tell it was you, but since I've seen you already in person, I knew it was you. And then I called.
But in that world, that's and not to say, listen, I'm not.
You guys, this is so embarrassing. I can't believe I'm talking about this.
I'm not saying re-release it.
I am not re-releasing that. Are you kidding me?
But in that world, you know, listen, good news, bad news is news.
No, I mean, the point is that when I called my ex that, you know, we had that long relationship with, I knew this story, but he confirmed it, where he got his car broken into. And everything was stolen. His laptop, his guitar, his amplifier. And so that is the only way I can think that they not only did they find this stuff.
He wanted to put it out there.
I don't think he would have, honestly. I think I knew the character of this.
How the fuck they gonna know your name and see that shit?
Because let's say you hack into the laptop, you'll see my name. You'll know. Okay. I mean, it was 6 years. Like, you'll know who that is. Okay. Like, it'll something written. Like, you'll see it.
But the real creeper is an ex-boyfriend who found it.
Well, he's not my boyfriend. That was a limited time only. That
your play toy was the creeper.
I know, right? Because how embarrassing is that he had to confess to me that he was looking for me to see if there was any kind of topless scenes from a movie. If I've done independent film, that maybe there was some sort of visual that he could see of me.
Oh, is this guy not getting laid? What the fuck's going on?
No comment. All I know is that, listen, Miguel, I am, everybody out here, hi. I'm saying hi to all the cameras. Hi. I am single. I am still single. I have no kids. I've been proposed to 3 times, but I'm not married. Okay. This is a great investment for you. But I am like the Tickle Me Elmo. Do you guys remember Tickle Me Elmo?
Yeah. Of course.
So Tickle Me Elmo was this craze, right? Like everybody wanted Tickle Me Elmo. And you had to like get in line, and the allure and the celebrity of the Tickle Me Elmo. So that is me. Men meet me, they're like, oh my God, I can't. And I'm gonna like just make myself sound amazing. Like she's beautiful, she's intelligent, she's crazy, she's funny. She's vegan, which is so important to men. I know it is.
Yeah, super.
And then I have a 90-day warranty. And then after about 90 days, they bring me back to my mom and dad. Like they brought Tickle Me Elmo back to Walmart.
We've had enough.
And they're like, no, never mind. This is enough. And I'm like, you don't think I'm funny? No, you don't want to play?
She's broken. What happened here?
and that is why I'm still here.
No, listen, that's
my ovaries are dating now. My ovaries are like, you make very good baby with that immune system. Go have sex with that man.
No, it's just finding the right guy, right?
Oh my God, you're gonna help me find the right guy?
Listen, I don't even know if I'm the right person, period, for this shit. But much less can I help anybody go anywhere. That's the honest truth.
Listen, I actually love being single, honestly. Like, I'm an only child. I daydream a lot. I do a lot. I read a lot. I'm a nerd.
A lot.
Yeah, I do want a partner, and I do want to create a family and have a little mini me and live in New York and live my best life and have a best friend to be sensual and to be funny with. But I'm actually never out there. Like, I'm not even on the dating sites. I'm never out there looking for it. Like, I love being single.
Oh, but
so.
I think the dating sites are a little creepy. I still can't get used
to it.
They are
Maybe
we're a little old school, and I get it.
I know,
in today's
right?
world, it's kind of cool to be able to talk to somebody, kind of feel like you kind of know somebody.
Yeah.
But I feel like you also imagine we grew up fucking Miami, and everybody here is a fucking scammer, right? It's like the ultimate fucking scam city. I can only imagine you're gonna end up con un viejo esto, like 80 years old, be like, no, porque tengo 24, estoy rico, And then the guy shows up, you're like, what the fuck happened here? Like, right. I feel like that's still the problem with the dating sites, right? Like, you can say whatever the fuck you gotta say until you really gotta show up for the moment.
Until you gotta show up for the moment.
Right? And then that's the problem.
And like, vibe is everything, because a guy can be good looking and he could look good on paper, just like a girl. Check.
Oh, 100%.
And then you meet them, you're like, cricket.
Yeah.
And nothing's there.
But you know what the problem is? I feel like they take advantage of the emotional part of it, right?
What do you mean?
During the conversation piece. So while you're talking to somebody and chatting with somebody, and they kind of have the same mindset, and they get along with you, and you're kind of attracted to the person as they talk to you, and you haven't met this fucker.
You haven't met this person.
Right? And I think that's where the fucked up part is, because I think they take advantage of the emotional part of people, even guy or girl,
I don't know about
right?
take advantage. What do you mean by take advantage? I think they're just doing it, right? Like you have to have boundaries. Like, okay, let's chat for a week. And then like after like 3, 4, 5 days, then we maybe do a phone call or FaceTime, and then you meet in person.
I don't want to fucking chat. I want to see you first. Like, think about it.
I mean,
right?
I had a turbo pandemic relationship like that. I got on the dating site. I actually manifested. I was like, I'm not in New York right now, but I'm gonna go live in New York. So I'm gonna write in the dating site that I live in New York. Success. You know about that
girl.
success.
Miami girl.
No, but if you want it, be about it.
100%.
So I'm like, you know what? I live in New York. I'm just gonna put it out there. And then within a week, I connected with this guy. We started FaceTiming every night at 8 p.m. during the pandemic, in the middle of the pandemic.
Okay, but you're FaceTiming.
In 3 weeks, he flew down from New York. He met me in the middle of the pandemic for my birthday. I had a backyard party. Don't tell anybody. We were in Miami. He was from New York. He was like, what is everybody together? Why is everybody together? Why is there 42 people in your backyard? And then basically he came down. He's like, so when are you moving in? And we were together for 2 years.
That's wild.
And that's my dating site story.
But that's cool. I understand that, because at least you're FaceTiming, you're getting to know each other. My thing is that, they get these fucking sites, and then you put whatever the fuck you want, right?
Sure.
So you're an all-star on paper. You're like, holy fuck, this is like the perfect guy, the perfect girl, and oh my God.
Guys don't try that hard, though. Guys always have a picture of them with their dog, a picture of holding a dead fish. Like, oh, I fish. I don't understand why a woman wants to see a dead fish.
Because we're cavemen.
And then they always have a picture of a kid and they say, not my kid. Like to
okay, it's
like
a little creepy,
my nephew, my niece, my this, like not my kid. And you're like, I don't why because they think women want to see how much of a father you can be, and that you kill fish and feed me. Like I am man, I will feed you.
Because they can't do that. I'm gonna be in a club and then take a picture like 6 girls either. Right?
Oh, you
like,
see that, and then they delete all the girls' pictures. I love that.
Yeah,
there was one guy that did that on his dating profile, and one of the girls in his picture was me.
No,
yeah.
that's fucking.
I was like, I remember taking a picture with that guy. That's me next to him, and he me borró. I was like, unbelievable.
Did you call him out on it?
I didn't know him. It was like at the club, we were dancing or whatever. Like,
it just happened to be you were there.
It just happened to be me. Yeah,
that is so funny.
Yeah, I messaged him. I'm like, the girl you blurred out, that's me.
That's the world we live in today.
Yeah.
But it's also good because it's especially like and I know in your field, and I see a lot of these guys or girls do these TikToks and the YouTubes and all that good stuff. And I think that the world has changed, right? Because now you get to do a lot of this stuff out there yourself. So it's almost like you kind of get to self-promote.
Yes.
Right? And I'm assuming you have to do that stuff because you're a fucking comic for sure. Like
thank you for calling me a comic.
Right? Like you do some funny skits.
Like
you have to. I saw one today.
Oh my God, you saw my comic.
Tell us a story. What happened to you today?
Today, well, the difference is that on IG, on Instagram, I actually like drew a goatee and I did a whole accent or whatever. But whatever, I do Uber Eats with my dad.
Okay.
Which is hysterical. And I went to a building and you have to go to the front desk. And I go up to the front desk and the dude goes, que chica más linda. ¿De dónde tú eres? And I was like, oh, sí, yo soy cubana. Ah, mira qué bien. Tú sabes que yo tengo un camión bien grande. I have a very, very big truck. And I can help you with whatever furniture, cualquier mueble, whatever you have.
But did he work there? He was
the front desk guy that I had to sign in.
Oh, no.
I have a big truck. I can help you with whatever furniture, cualquier mueble, cualquier cosa.
Okay.
Thank you, muchas gracias. No necesito nada. And también, I can change your tire. I can cambiarte la llanta, te cambio la llanta. And then he had this very strange pause. Like he looked at me, bro, and he was like, te cambio la llanta.
He was trying to get some type of yes.
I don't need my llanta changed, my oil changed. I don't know what you're looking for.
He figured he could convince you with the look.
Yeah.
She'll say yes to something.
And then he's like, bye. And then as I'm walking past him, he tells his friend, yo, que clase de carne más buena a ti, bebé. I was like, what the heck? Only in freaking Miami. I was like a charcuterie board to him. He looked at me like, bro, que romántico. But like, it's awesome that these men, and he was like in his like late 40s maybe. It's beautiful to like show up and a man wants to be of service. He wanted to help me move furniture and he wanted to help me fix my car, I guess.
He wanted to let you know.
Yeah.
That he works.
Yes, and that he's there for me, and if I needed, and I'm sure, like if I needed someone to be dropped off and killed in the Everglades, he would be like, yo lo mato, and I put it in my big truck, and no one knows, and the alligator, mira, jama para alligator, and that's
I got you. Y tú, como eres tremenda carne, we're good.
No, pero petit. Yo soy una boloñita así chiquita.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was Uber Eats stories like that are hysterical.
Oh no, I'm sure you get all kinds of shit, right?
Yeah,
That's I've always thought about that. Like even doing Uber, like you have to come out with some like there's some trips that are like normal, or whatever.
Yeah,
but I'm assuming that depending on when you do what, you're gonna get some wild shit that happens, right? Like,
you get a bunch of crazy stuff. I was in an elevator. For those of you listening, I have a braid done with a scarf. I was in an elevator in a high rise, and these two very affluent white women was like, probably in their 60s or 70s. They're like, "Oh, darling, is that a wig? Darling, that looks beautiful. That's what is that? Did you buy that like that?" And I was like, "Ma'am, no, I did not buy this. This is my hair." I'm like, she's never been to Brooklyn. Like, obviously, you don't know anything about the hood.
But this is the beauty about acting. This is where you take the role and you say, and you fuck with people all day long.
Yes.
See, this is why I couldn't be an actor, because I wouldn't want to do TV. I just want to fuck with people all day long.
All day.
And play the role of just like trolling them and fucking with them all day so that people just get mad, Yeah. Either they laugh or they get mad at you. One of the two.
That's life. That's life. Right? That's it, bro. What else, Miguel? What else you got for me?
Oh, we got plenty to talk about. This vegan stuff. I still can't get over that shit.
The freaking laughter of una vieja perdida.
Or a wicked one. Or a wicked one. I still can't get over
I don't need death, bro. It's all good. You can eat all the death you want.
Plants die.
I'm not a
Everything
vegan
dies.
Nazi. I'm not a vegan Nazi, but I don't need death, bro.
I know, but you know how hard it's been to put up a menu
Listen,
for
this
Josephine.
Caballero,
For Josephine.
ladies and gentlemen, we have here.
So this is part 300 for us, by the way.
We have bread and a cracker and a bread, and then we have olives.
Well,
and then I brought my sake. This is what we have. This is the food that they think vegans eat. Bang.
This is when you know you're also missing a woman's touch here.
Yes,
before
your wife.
Before
Come
Josephine
on,
got here,
come on.
my poor wife. Yes,
Your wife. No, your wife está riquísima con carne con papa.
I know, pero me jodió.
Yeah, no, but
Oh, no, jodió.
look, shout out to his wife, to Miguel's wife.
Thank
what was
you,
her name?
thank
Please
you.
remind me.
Denise.
The
beautiful Denise. Who
Shout
just
out to Denise.
She just joined Club 44.
Why are you saying her name her age like that,
'Cause we
bro?
could cut
Is she
this
proud of it?
So who cares?
Yeah, she's.
No, but listen, she looks great for her fucking age.
I know.
So
I know. I get it.
I never understood that with women, though. I'm gonna be honest with you when it comes to that. I'm glad we said that because if you look good, who cares, right?
If you look good, who cares? I
and
can
if you
see
feel
that.
good about it, like, and not to say you gotta go wild, but listen, we all get old, right?
You're right.
At some point in time, but why not embrace the way you look, the way you feel?
I think there's something that's like really ingrained and embedded to us in terms of media in America, in terms of television, movies, and radio, that the women that are appetizing and sexy and doing perfume commercials are never over 40, unless it's a cream commercial for your wrinkles. And
but that's wild.
But I think it's the fear, and maybe even more so for Latinas, I'm not sure, but I think it's a fear of no longer looking appetizing, sexy, or viable, depending on your age. Because like when we were kids and you knew your teacher, for example, your teacher in high school could have been 22. You're like, oh, they're old. Like 22,
sure.
like I'm 16. Like,
yeah, but that's always going to be that way, right? So if you're
Right.
20, you're going to think 40 is old. If you're
Sure.
40, you're going to think 60 is old.
Sure.
And so on and so forth.
But being vegan, I'm going to look like this for the next 700 years.
A base de lechuga.
Like this, 700 years. I am a witch.
A base de lechuga. There's nothing else you can be. What
No
else you can do?
inflamación, no arthritis.
But that always wasn't like that, right? So how'd you come? There's no way you were born vegan. That doesn't work like that.
I mean, maybe, but no, I wasn't.
How did that come
actually,
about?
you are born vegan because, well, no, I guess you're not.
No.
Never mind. I had the flu for like 3 or 4 days, and I just saw mad documentaries on Netflix.
But this whole during COVID, it just happened to you.
No. This
just
was like
out of nowhere,
2014 or 15, and I started seeing all these documentaries, and I started reading these research papers that's been done across the world in different universities. One of the biggest research reports that I read that was called the Blue Regions. It's like Okinawa, Sardinia. It's different parts of the world. There's 7 parts of it, and these people usually only eat vegetables and carbs and some fish. And these blue regions, the people live to up to 100. They walk. No one has cancer. No one has Alzheimer's. No one has arthritis. They have a community. They walk from their house to the thing. And it's not only about being vegan,
of course,
but I mean, they eat some fish. So
staying active as well.
But it's staying active. They live in pedestrian-friendly places.
Yes.
And I was like, I want to be esa viejita que todavía, I am throwing it down and twerking and doing yoga.
Yo quiero joder hasta que todo el mundo se muera.
Listen, I'm not dead until I'm dead.
True.
And I think when you are around your grandparents and you see how it is getting older, and you go to Little Havana and you go to these places and you see that the last 15 years of your life are like obese, in a wheelchair.
I agree.
What is that life? I mean, it's so sad to me. I want to live so vibrantly. I want to die having an orgasm at 98. If anyone, I'll probably
Sex
be dating.
tape too, con el viejo in the homes.
And I'm always dating younger, so I'm going to
In the
be
palace
98.
homes,
He's going to be 69. 69. And because I want to, like, life
that the
is
nurse?
so, maybe. It hasn't been the first time I've been accused of that. But it's just that I want to live life so vibrantly. Like I want to remember everything that I've done, and it's actually something that I'm really passionate about, because when you read these things that are out of the box from what we're raised on, and you realize that we're killing ourselves and our bodies based on what we're eating and the amount that we're eating. It's not that it's wrong to eat it. It's that we're eating it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day.
I agree with that.
And I don't think our bodies were made for that. And also,
I agree with that.
I saw an episode of I Love Lucy. Here's a little tidbit for everybody. Everybody listen to me. Lucy,
Lucy,
I saw an episode of I Love Lucy, and Ricky Ricardo was making un arroz con pollo for Lucio Ball. If you would have seen the size of that chicken from 1951 of the arroz con pollo, it was this size. How
So
big
the
is the
chicken
chicken
now?
now?
So it's
The
out of a
chicken now-
turkey.
She speaks Spanish and English, and she freaking sells you weed now. You go to Winn-Dixie, and the chicken is over there like, oh, hey, I know somebody that knows.
Yeah, it's true.
But it was this
true.
size, and I was like, in the 50s and the 40s, the way the ground was, the way the animals were. But listen, if y'all want to eat, or if it happens every now and then, I'm not against it. I just think that we can learn more and then eat
Agreed.
it less and be less hinchada, because sometimes my stomach looks bigger than my culo, and that's like it's a no. Like, I can't be inflamada like that. That's why I eat lechuga, bro. Forget that. I don't need death.
I'm not gonna criticize. I was about to say something wrong, but
Good.
anyway,
Good.
not about you. Just about when your barriga is bigger than your culo. No, but I agree with you. I agree with you to a certain point. I think anything in excess is kind
Right.
of fucked up. So
Yeah.
I understand that part. I was just curious because I was like, coño, man, every time I have to pick
Right.
something here, it's like, man,
Yeah.
it's tough. Because the truth is, there's not enough of that. They sell you so much of this fast food and so much
But
of
you
this shit
think it's tough, caballero. Like, I'm Latin. I eat rice, beans, plantains, tostones.
See, but
I
even
eat
the
it all.
plantains, they told me it can be based on where it's fried or what's it fried on.
I know. Just fry the plantain y me lo como. What do you mean? Like, that's it. French fries are vegan.
So the guy who's listening, who told me that fucking story.
What did he tell you? What happened? What do you mean plantains aren't vegan? You just fry corta plátano, ponga plátano en el aceite,
I
saca
don't know if I
plátano.
just feel stupid right now.
What do you mean?
Because listen to me.
I'm listening to you. I'm in a podcast. I have to listen.
I guess we're gonna call him our director, right? Per se, gave me a whole speech. 'Cause
Well, if
I
it's-
said,
okay,
hold on,
okay.
wait. I said earlier, look, she's vegan. That's cool. You know what? I respect it. It's just like, look, a long time ago, I worked with a lot of the Japanese, so there's different cultures, and you respect it, right? And you say, but more importantly, you're open minded to it. You're like, you know what? Let me see what it's about before you go ahead and criticize or say some shit. Let me see what's up. So I figured, okay, she's vegan. So I'm like, all right, cool. And I remember last time we spoke, before this episode, the prior one that we tried. And I go, you know what? Let me get the tostones. Kind of what you said, some plantains, we'll get some rice, some beans, something cool, And honestly, I was like, you know what? Well, pican, even better. I prefer that. Because I've gotten to a point where I don't even like a full meal. I prefer to share, picar a little bit, enjoy more conversation, more good time, than to come out of there feeling like it's your funeral, like it's time to pick me up, right? And I was like, you know what, coño, no, we should order this. And then they gave me a speech. I said, no. And I was like, what do you mean, no? She goes, he goes to me, it depends on what it was fried on. What the fuck does that mean? They even have like baked plantains nowadays. It's not even like you don't have to do that shit. Like,
Yeah.
He goes, no, you can't do that. And I was like, okay, well.
So I got breadsticks, y'all, and I got olives.
You got breadsticks.
And I got olives.
You got olives. You
I
got
mean, if
a
you
cream
fry-
cheese that you're never gonna fucking touch. That's just made from every other animal in Hialeah.
It's okay. Is that I want the cow to be impregnated como Dios manda. Whenever you get your milk and when you get ice cream, guys, you have to realize that the cream that you're eating is a cow that's been perpetually pregnated until she dies. She gets pregnated by inseminated sperm of her 9 times, and she lives her life pregnant to produce milk for you. No, I want the cow to have actual sex like a normal cow and have her kids, and that's it.
You can't have that. Only bisons.
You're
have
having
that.
perpetually pregnated cows that don't have, que no disfruta el sexo. I want the cow to disfrutar, bro.
I'm gonna agree with you on a lot of stuff. That cow.
That cow needs.
That's a good one.
That cow needs it.
That's a
She's
good
being
one.
inseminated. She needs life. I am all about the cow getting her
that's
sex
a good
life
one.
on.
That one's really, really good. But you know what? Listen, guys, we're coming to the end of our show. I want to thank the beautiful, amazing Josephine.
Get my name right.
Phoenix. Sorry.
Josephine is
Why
fine.
did I say Josephine?
Just sounds like I need a passport. Oye, Josephine, cásate conmigo que te doy los papeles.
I want to thank her for coming here and breaking bread with me again for the multiple times.
Miguel, you're great. You're natural. You're open. You're curious. Oye, congratulations to you,
thank you.
and your little Breaking Bread podcast. Mira, espérate,
A little breaking bread.
Ask me Breaking Bread, Miguel.
I know, but they have to give me one so we do this together. It can't be breaking sola. Oye, ¿verdad que las mujeres son de madre? If you guys really like this show, hit like and subscribe because this will get it seen more often on YouTube, and others get to view the comedic singer, songwriter, actor, talented
Keep going. No.
Josephine Phoenix,
te
who actually
falta.
took the time out of her way from that poor guy who was trying to hit on her in BRICKELL all day today with the big truck to come and hang out with us.
Yes.
So
thank you
Miguel.
again.
Have a good night. We'll see you soon.
Out. Thank you.
Bye.
Woo! Dale,
don't fucking unplug.